Hello everyone, and welcome back to another Creepypasta horror game. Well, this one isn't really a horror game, this one is actually a dating sim. For the Bloody Painter. This one is from itch.io, whatever you want to call it. Again, I'm always going to say itch.io. So this one is released for the 10-year anniversary of the Bloody Painter. I did go and make the adjustment so that it's in English. I believe this one has voice acting, I'm not sure. It's about 40 minutes long if you get the good ending. There's 6 bad endings and 4 good endings. I am going to try and get the good ending. I'm not gonna go for all of the endings. I don't think I am, at least, but I'm gonna try and get the best ending. I don't know what the best ending is, but we're gonna go. Oh, ow. Okay, maybe there's not voice acting. Okay, so I have to speak. I'm not gonna be very good at voices. Okay. Ugh. With a severe headache, you wake up in an unfamiliar place. As you touch the bruise on the back of your head, it seems you were hit by something heavy before you lost consciousness. A heavy iron chain tied around your feet. Someone has trapped you here. You try to remember what happened before you lost consciousness, but you can't recall anything. So this is gonna be kind of like a dark romance, I'm guessing, if you are into that, with being kidnapped, falling in love with your kidnapper, all of that. Let's investigate the surroundings first. Mattress. There's a mattress on the floor. Okay. The mattress feels really hard to lie on. Where to investigate next? Cell phone. No service. No signal. I might be in a remote place or underground. Where to investigate next? The wall. The room is surrounded by 4 walls without any windows. It's weirdly cleaned up, and no ashes or sand can be seen. Looks like a prison built by a germaphobe. Where to investigate next? The meal. Near the door, there's a serving of spaghetti with tomato sauce and a bottle of water. Also, a round plastic fork that's completely harmless was thoughtfully attached. It's still warm. It feels like it was sent here not long ago. Where to investigate next? I guess the door. You peek through the keyhole, but you see nothing outside. I wonder where I am. Where to investigate next? End investigation. Yes. What's the next move? Listen. You can't hear any sound other than your own breathing. The soundproofing in this room seems particularly good. That's kind of like Black Phone, where the soundproofing is. Guess sleep. I don't want to knock over the meal. Can I eat the food? You lay on the bed. You try to sleep under this condition. Maybe it's the fatigue caused by nervousness, but you still fall asleep. You open your eyes after hearing some noises. The mask. A tall man wearing a mask is squatted on the ground and looking at you with his head tilted. He remains silent, as if he is sizing up his prey. He points to the plate on the floor, like indicating that you should finish your meal quickly. Thinking that the strange man might have poisoned the meal, you shake your head in fear. Wear headphones. Wear headphones. There are sounds that you need to hear if you're really into the male breathing. Seeing you have no intention of eating, he looks quite distraught.
You can't die.
There is voice acting. There is voice acting. Ah!
Not now.
He slowly speaks with a deep and steady voice.
The freezer is full.
Are there... What's in the freezer? What does that mean?
The freezer is full, and there's no space for more.
I think he means there's no room for you, hon.
7 days.
7 days, okay. He pauses and thinks.
There won't be space until 7 days later. If you die now,
His voice.
you'll rot.
What do you mean? So I only have 7 days left to live? He nods and walks out the door. Wait, you can't just leave me here like this, please. Your cries can't stop the door from closing. Day 1, night. Let's investigate the surroundings first. Wait, cancel. Meal. A bread and bottle of water. You peek outside from the keyhole. You see the shadow of the man walking around. Seems to be busy with something. What is he doing? I can't eat the food? I guess I just end the day. Please try to improve your survival rate within 7 days. Let's investigate and look around. Meal. Empty plate. Door. You check the keyhole. You seem to see something. You see that there's a vague figure at the end of the door. Observe quietly. You sense something wrong and realize that what that is after narrowing your eyes. That is an artwork made of the human body, not a human being. You hear the door open. You slowly push the door, and there is no trace of the strange man. First, you go into a room with a large freezer, sink, and operating table. Then you open another heavy door. You find yourself in a room full of glass display jars. The jars are filled with specimens made from human body parts. It's like you're in an art museum. Could it be that he wanted to freeze me as material for specimen artwork? You're thinking. You seeing the scene. You look around and admire his work with relish. You look at them for 15
Interesting.
You hear a voice coming from the corner. It turns out the man has been watching you from a blind spot behind the glass cabinet. I like them. They're so beautiful. The man goes silent with his head tilted for a couple seconds after hearing your comment. He seems to be thinking about something.
Don't you consider it cruel or bloodthirsty to them?
No, I feel nothing at all.
You're such a weirdo.
You think, aren't you talking about yourself? After you have a tour in his display room, he locks you back in the small room you were in. You go to sleep to end the day. Your survival rate increases! Yes! Day 3. Night. Until noon, you don't see breakfast or lunch being delivered. You're already starving. You're waiting for him to bring dinner, but what you get is not dinner. Instead, you hear the door was open. A light shines through the crack of the half-open door, looking like an intriguing invitation. You open the door and walk into that light. You first arrive at the room with an operating table outside the door, but this time the operating table is not empty. There's a defrosted human corpse on it. The man pops out of somewhere. He unties the iron chains from your feet and hands the surgical knife in his hands to you.
First, where do you think the first cut should be?
His voice tone sounds cold, like the kind of teacher who gives students hard questions on purpose. Maybe beautiful works always come with some sacrifices. Without hesitation, you stab the abdomen of the corpse with the knife. But due to lack of professionalism, the lines you cut are crooked and ugly. And this is when he gets close behind your back and holds your hand. You're both holding the surgical knife, like you two are cutting a cake together. With his hand, the lines you cut become smooth and clean. You can smell an ocean perfume on him due to how close you are. It seems to be sprayed to cover up the smell of formalin. You can feel his warmth with your back, but his fingers are a little cold. He's focusing on cutting the corpse, and your hand keeps moving under his lead. He could have killed you or ignored you, but he didn't. You start to speculate on the purpose of his behaviors. Could it be that he wants someone who can ignore the cruelty and process and understand him? You think. After the happy creative time ends, you're locked in the room you were in. You go to sleep to end the day. Day 4, noon. Until noon, you don't see breakfast or lunch being delivered. You're already starving. You notice that something is shining in the corner. A key. It seems like the man accidentally dropped it last night. You open the door with the key. You go past the operating table where you two spent creative time together last night. The display room. Then you discover that there are unnatural, uneven marks from one wall to the corner. You find a trapdoor. After pushing the trapdoor, you see a normal basement storage room. At the corner of the storage room, you see a stair that goes up. It turns out that this is really an underground secret room, hidden layer by layer with trapdoor. No wonder the sound insulation is so good. You walk up the stairs and see a heavy wooden board. You push it hard. What catches your eye is the interior of a cozy cabin. Then you realize the heavy wooden board you just pushed is the back of a bookcase. You look around and find that there are insect specimens everywhere in the cabin. There's also a reindeer head specimen hanging on the wall. Then you walk into the living room. You see a young man with a handsome face and pale skin laying on the sofa. The ocean-scented perfume and the faint smell of formalin emanates from his body. It's him. He is the masked man who kidnapped you, but he is not wearing a mask at this time. His sleeping face has a ferocious expression. His neck is sweating and he seems to be trembling. It looks like he's sick. At this time, you decide to. You can't bear to leave him alone, so you reach out and touch his forehead. Whoa, so hot. You try to find something that can cool him down. Let's investigate. kitchen is spotlessly clean. There are some ice cubes in it. These can cool down his body temperature. I can soak a towel in ice water and place it in on the patient's forehead to cool him down. Living room is spotlessly clean. Where to investigate next? But you can't move him with your strength. Where to investigate next? It feels like he did them all. The workmanship of this specimen is exquisite. Where to investigate next? There's a photo frame on the shelf. It's a photo of him standing at the entrance of the Judicial Mental Hospital with a man in a doctor's robe. Where to investigate next? Shelf. There's a jar of cocoa powder and a cup on it. Let's make him a cup of cocoa. I know this from reading the comments. I accidentally clicked past it. I'm gonna go back to that. Name Helen Otis, gender male, birthday October 1st, 1980. Seems to be in pain. You return to the living room, wring out the excess water from a towel soaked in ice water, and place it on his forehead. His ferocious expression gradually softened. You once again notice his fair skin and long eyelashes, and his slightly curly black hair. If you don't say he is a murderer, his sleeping face looks very harmless now. After a while, he wakes up to the scent of your brewing cocoa and sits on the couch. He looks a little shocked. He looks around quickly and seems to understand what is going on.
Why are you doing this?
I want to ask myself that too.
You saw me faint and didn't choose to run away. You're such a weirdo.
I like how that's what he says to me, not the fact that I'm sorry. I've been on Book Talk a lot. I'm sorry. Just Book Talk has overwhelmed me. I've been in this situation so many times. Like, I have no excuse. No excuse. Is there anyone weirder than you in this house? You can't help but bitch about him. You seem to see the corners of his mouth rising slightly for a few seconds, and the atmosphere between you relaxes. He doesn't drink the cocoa you brew for him. It seems like he's still a little wary of you. Can you tell me who you are?
Bloody Painter. That's the name they gave me for my modus operandi. If you find it difficult to pronounce, you can call me BP.
Even though what he told you was just a nickname, at least you know how to know how to call him now. After the brief conversation on the sofa, he does not lock you back in the underground secret room. Perhaps staying to take care of him when he fell ill was enough to prove that you won't run away. You get up from the sofa and continue to look at the specimen decorations in the living room. He sits on the sofa, crosses his legs, picks up a book, and starts reading.
By the way, you better not try to escape. There are traps all around the cabin, and only I know how to get in and out safely.
You sit on the sofa. Soon, a wave of sleepiness comes over you. Today, you fall asleep on the sofa in the living room, not in the cold underground secret room. Your survival rate increases. Day 5, morning. You see him busy cleaning in and out of the house early in the morning. I'll come help too. After finishing speaking, you pick up the rag and bucket and join the cleaning. But you can't really see where this almost spotless house needs to be cleaned. You're just taking a clean, wet rag and wiping it on the clean cabinet. Do you usually love cleaning this much?
It would soon be covered with a layer of dust.
It must be cleaned like this 1 or 2 times a week, otherwise it would be covered with a layer of dust. Although he doesn't talk much, his tone and voice give you a gentle feeling and don't make you feel nervous. You climb up the short ladder and wipe the high cabinets with a rag. Suddenly, a cockroach crawls out of the crack in the cabinet. You are so frightened that you lose your balance and fall backwards. You close your eyes, but what you get is not the pain of falling to the ground, but a warm feeling. My heart! You open your eyes and find that he's holding you like you're a princess. Oh, those eyes! Oh! He catches you with the same old cold expression on his face.
Are you all right?
Perhaps to resolve the awkwardness, he asks. I'm alright, it was just a cockroach. Hearing the word cockroach, he puts you down. He takes 2 steps back from the cabinet you just wiped and then says
Don't
calmly,
come near here yet. It's dangerous.
It's dangerous, okay. You can't help but chuckle at the thought of a murderer being afraid of cockroaches. Fine, whatever you say. The interaction just now makes you feel a little warmth from this cold murderer. At least you see more of his reactions and expressions. This is the rare relaxation you felt in these tense days. One thing I would like to mention is the fact that one of the warnings this game gives you is that if you encounter a murderer, to call the police right away and not to engage in romance. That's one of the warnings the game gives you. Yeah. He could have let you fall off the ladder, but he rushed over to catch you. Somehow you feel that after these few days of getting along, you now know, or maybe now you both have different ideas about each other than you originally had. It was only a clear relationship between a murderer who wanted to hunt and a prey who was trying to escape, but now it has an extra layer of friendship, causing the interaction between you to have an indescribable sense of dissonance. Just when you pick up the old newspaper and prepare to wipe the windows, you find a police car parked on the road in the distance. 2 police officers get out of the car and keep looking towards the cabin. At some point, BP is already behind you, looking out the window with you.
Wait for a second.
And then he walks out of the door to talk to the police officers.
Is there anything I can help you with?
Are you Mr. Otis?
Yes, I am.
Have you ever seen these people around here? The police officer takes out some photos from his pocket.
Have these people committed a crime and are running away?
No, these people are the missing people around this area.
I haven't seen them before. but wolves and bears often appear around here.
Can we check out your cabin?
Yes, come in.
He behaves very kindly and politely. After speaking, he leads the way for the police officers.
Please, follow my footsteps. I placed some traps near the cabin to protect against wild wolves and bears. You don't want to step on them.
The police officers enter the house and see you. Hello, this is...
An old friend who came to visit me recently.
You greet the police officers with a smile and a nod. It seems that your disappearance has not been discovered by anyone yet. You stand next to the bookcase, blocking the entrance to the secret room. After searching around, the police find nothing unusual and leave. His trust in you increases. Today, you still sleep on the couch in the living room instead of the cold basement. Half asleep, you hear the sound of someone approaching. When you notice it, the person seems to be very close to you. You pretend to be asleep and the person just looks at your sleeping face quietly. The man stretches out his hand and takes it back just as he is about to touch your hair. He turns around and leaves. Day 6, morning. You see him busy in the kitchen for a while. I think I might have accidentally skipped something. The breakfast is served in front of you. That looks really good, except for the tomatoes and stuff, and the egg yolk. There's a piece of toast with just the right crispiness on the large round plate, a poached egg on top of the toast, and some lettuce salad. The plating looks delicious. The drink is a cup of freshly brewed hot cocoa. The cutlery he gives you is still a round plastic fork with no offensive features. You sit at the dining table and start eating, while he sits on the chair opposite you and flips through a book. It's still snowing outside, and listening to the squeaking sound of the fireplace, the atmosphere in the cabin is particularly comfortable. As long as you ignore the fact that you are in the same room with the murderer who kidnapped you, everything is really relaxing. You look at him, who is full of mysteries, and some questions arise in your mind. And you decide to ask carefully. Can I ask you a question?
What is it?
What book do you usually read? Pick up the book next to you and read it.
Usually, I would read some anatomy and taxidermy books, but today is different.
What are you reading today?
The Truman Show.
What is the book like?
The whole world that the protagonist lives in, including himself, is all just someone's creation. Everything that happens is watched by the audience, and there is no privacy at all. But he is completely unaware that he is in such a large theater. Very ridiculous, right?
Kinda like what's going on right here, am I right?
I can't imagine this to happen in reality, or to me.
Yeah, funny, I think you should say that.
If our world was like the Truman Show, how would the audience view the current situation?
Like a dark romance. Like, oh, I wish I was in this situation. Like, a lot of the book talk girls are like, to their boyfriend, hey, could you reenact this for me? Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong. Am I wrong? No, I am not wrong. Hey, you guys are very obvious on book talk. I'm just saying. You guys, you all want to be put in this scenario where your kidnapper is like 6 6'1", 6'2", maybe even 6'5", super buff, covered in tattoos. I don't know, some sort of accent. I don't know, maybe he's British, maybe he's Italian, maybe he's freaking Aussie. I don't know, Scottish, Irish, something. Or just, I don't know, maybe he has the East Coast accent. He has some sort of accent, and he's in the mafia, and he's taking off his shirt. He might even have a mask, and you're just like, I want to marry this dude, and then you tell me I'm wrong. Am I wrong? How many of you are watching this right now and are like, I wish that the bloody painter was real and would kidnap me and I could reenact this and make this situation real? Am I wrong? How many of us growing up read creepypasta stories and wanted the male characters to come and find us, and we wrote fan fictions about it? Or read them. I'm just saying.
I understand. After all, normal people cannot forgive me for such behavior. But I don't care what they think. I just want to complete my work.
Oh crap, did I give the wrong answer?
I have always been a selfish man.
He looks up at you for a moment.
I was going to make you into some kind of doll at first. Your eyes are beautiful, but if they are left alone, they'll become rotten and sunken. So I would like to dig your eyes out and put them in a glass jar and soak them in formalin to preserve them. Glass beads will be placed in the empty eye sockets to replace the eyes. You look very pleasing to the eye, so I would also like to keep the head intact. You're welcome.
Why did he say at first? Has his mind changed? I saw many potted plants on the shelves in the living room. Why were they all withered?
I have tried my best. I don't know why they always die.
It's a book about the possibility of having a completely opposite version of yourself in a parallel world. If there's a complete opposite version of you, what do you think it would be like?
Oh, that book. Let me think. Probably a guy wearing a burgundy coat and always having a smile on his face.
Why is it a burgundy
Because I like blue. If he is the opposite of me, he should like red, right?
Day 6, noon. It's noontime. To thank you for making breakfast for me, let me make lunch in return. He frowns at you with an expression like, are you out of your mind? Don't worry, you said there are traps outside the house. Only you know how to get in and out normally. Even if I resist you with a knife, I can't escape.
Okay, but I'll keep an eye on you. Don't try anything stupid.
Great. As for what to cook and the ingredients, well, bad idea flashes through your head and curiosity makes you ask, do you eat human flesh?
No. Why would I do that? I just use human bodies as materials for making art, and I never think about eating them.
I thought you murderers all had some degrees of cannibalism.
Let's put it this way. Do you eat paint and painting tools? Just because I kill people to use as materials to make works doesn't mean I will eat them.
That's a really dumb question.
Also, I'm different from those who have fun committing a crime and kill purely for the sake of killing. Don't confuse me with that kind of unprincipled guy. I wouldn't do anything unless necessary. You are here only because you witnessed the crime scene.
I see. After hearing this, you decide to cook a common dish. You look at the ingredients in the refrigerator. There are eggs, tomatoes, white rice, and some curry powder on the shelf. Okay, I've decided. Turn on the oven and start to cook. Bloody Painter watches the entire production process. Rather than worrying about you escaping, he's more worried about you blowing up the kitchen. Soon after, a normal curry omelet rice was served. He stares at the omelet rice without saying a word. Don't worry, there's no poison. Weren't you watching the whole process? He starts to move after you finish speaking. He takes a spoonful of omelet rice and puts it in his mouth. What do you think?
It's surprisingly quite delicious.
What's wrong?
Nothing. It's just that no one has cooked for me for a long time.
I can make you more if you like. You had a fairly pleasant afternoon. Day 6, late at night. Ugh.
Hey!
You were woken up from your sleep by the man. It's oddly close. His face is close to you and his blue eyes are staring at you. What's wrong? You sit up on the couch and rub your eyes.
Got to go.
Got to go?
I've noticed something unusual about the number of police cars patrolling nearby recently. They must have some relevant evidence and are doubting it. It is very likely there is an ambush outside. It's snowing heavily outside now, and I think it's time to leave now. Come with me or not, it's your choice.
What do you want me to do? I'm fine with both choices, but I need you to look me in the eyes and tell me, what do you prefer me to do? You stare at his eyes. He hesitates to speak and looks away, looking like he's thinking about something. Your behavior makes him a little panicked, and he doesn't seem to be good at this kind of situation. You notice that his ears are flushed, and this unexpected reaction makes you want to tease him a little bit. What do you prefer me to do? After a moment's silence, he slowly
Let you come with me.
He's blushing! He's blushing! He tries hard to look you in the eyes and speaks.
We'll set off early tomorrow morning.
Day 7.
Follow my footsteps.
You follow the shoe prints he leaves on the snow and finally succeed in avoiding the many traps around the cabin. Just as you are walking through the forest, you hear movement behind you. Freeze! In the snowstorm, several policemen who were lying in ambush chase after you. You ignore them and keep running forward. Bang! A gunshot shoots across the sky and you feel pain in your left calf. You are shot. He turns to look at you and as if he's considering whether to leave you. Run! You yell at him, but he approaches you. And he holds you in his arms. You feel warmth on your forehead. He kisses your forehead. You feel the time freeze. At this moment. The kiss is almost like a goodbye. Then he leaves you and runs forward, disappearing into the heavy snow. You are later taken back to the police for questioning. You say throughout the process that you were a victim. On that note, you aren't lying. You don't reveal any unnecessary details. Since there is no relevant evidence to prove that you are an accomplice, the police can only release you after a long period of interrogation. After that, 2 years passed. Now you live in a cheap little apartment. You live an ordinary life as if what happened 2 years ago never happened. Today is Halloween, and every household nearby has put up put some thought into making decorations, but for you, it's just another day at work. When you return to your apartment after getting off work in the oh my god, my voice needs to stop cracking. After getting off work in the evening, the strange thing is that as soon as you open the door, you feel a gust of wind. You remember that you closed the window before going out. Just when you were about to close the window, you find a gift left by someone on the table next to your windowsill, a red rose. You don't know why, but you have a feeling that Bloody Painter has been here. Every Halloween after that, you receive a rose at your residence. It's like a once-a-year greeting. Although he says nothing, the rose seems to tell everything. Although you have certain similarities, you are two people from different worlds after all. Perhaps living your own life this way is the best outcome for both of you. Good end for two different worlds. You know what? I'm happy with that ending. And I really also don't want to play through 40 minutes again. But I do want to know what would happen if I would have stayed. But I feel like if I would have stayed, then he wouldn't come by. I feel like if I wouldn't have said that it was unforgivable, if I would have said excited, I feel like that was the make or break moment right there. Oh, frick. Ow, my eye. Oh, fuck, I forgot I was wearing contacts. Ow. Well, that was a really good game. This game is free, by the way, but it's a name your own price game. So, if you want to try and get all the endings or whatever, definitely check this game out and let me know what you thought. Because I'm pretty happy with the ending that I got, to be completely honest. I love this. I actually don't know almost anything about the Bloody Painter. But I believe this is supposed to be close to his story. Ow. Oh. Ow. Anyways, I hope you all enjoyed. Have a great rest of your day, whatever time zone it is for you. If there's any other games you would like me to play, let me know. I feel like my voice is cracking a lot right now, and I'm so sorry for that because it probably sounds really terrible. Oh, is my voice cracking? I think it is. Anyways, have a great rest of your day, whatever time zone it is for you. I'll see you all in the next one. Bye.